We have a coin from Samoa featuring Chief Tanu Mafili II, dated 1974. It's a 20 scene coin, and the fruit featured here is called a breadfruit. This coin is catalog number KM16. Today's video is going to feature the coins that we have on the screen right now. These are coins that I picked up from the Tennessee State Numismatic Show in November of 2024 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. This was from a dealer I'd never met before, but on this particular day, he had a really nice foreign coin for a dollar bin. This is part 2 of this series. We already looked at 30 coins that we had picked up from him that had a total book value of $24.50. And we're going to add up the book value of these as well, just because I enjoy doing it. A lot of these are staying in my personal collection or going to my trade pile. And we'll keep on going and see what the value of the coins in this video add up to. There are going to be 30 coins with a couple of tokens in this box or in this video, and I ended up paying a total of $7.50 for all of the coins in this video. Here's a coin from Hungary. It's a 20 filler. It has a Budapest BP dot mint mark at the very top of this coin. It's a 20 filler. This comes from the Hungarian Regency, which lasted from 1926 to 1945. We flip it over, and it features at the bottom here the crown of St. Stephen. There is also a 10 filler coin that looks a lot like this one, but a little bit smaller and had a little bit of a less value. But this coin books for $1.50. Catalog number is KM 508. Here is a coin from Spain, not particularly all that rare, but it does feature Juan Carlos I, King of Spain, from 1980. We flip this one over. It's another coin from their series celebrating what that Spain was hosting, the whatever the World Cup soccer tournament, or I guess most people would call that the football tournament. I'm an American, so I call it soccer. But they made coins celebrating this 1982 event for 3 years leading up to it. Now, it said 1980 on this side, but Spain likes to just have the first year the coin was made right there. And inside the star on the back is the year it was actually made, which this is a larger coin, so it has a larger star. Easier to see the 81 that was stamped on there. They actually discontinued that when they were finished with these World Cup coins. This coin is catalog number KM 818. I do find it interesting how a lot of the coins I find from Indonesia tend to be close to uncirculated, such as this 2 rupiah from 1970. It has the RP for rupiah abbreviation on this side, as well as rice and cotton. This coin is catalog KM21. China had a lot of general issue coins for the entire Chinese population. Of the early 1900s that are all look very similar, and if you don't speak the language, it would be difficult to read what a lot of these look like, or be able to read the characters that you don't speak. And there's also a lot of variations, so it sometimes has there's difficulty figuring out what a lot of these say. So this one is going to be a 10 cash coin, produced in 1907, and it doesn't actually say 1907 on here anywhere, but what it does say with all the characters on here, starting at the top, referring to the Emperor Guangxu, made in the year 44, Great King, Qing, which was the dynasty that Emperor Guangxu was a part of. Then at the bottom it says copper currency worth 10 cash. So they did not put the year of the calendar year, but they put the year of the emperor, which was year 44, and going back we can look up and find that was 1907. We flip this one over and it has a dragon design and some English letters that go around the outside. I picked up this coin because while some of the letters at the bottom and the side are tougher to read, the details of the dragon are a little bit better than I typically find this one. It's very easy to find this one in only good, very good condition, but it's almost hard to find these in fine or better. So around the outside in our alphabet, it says Tai Ching Tai Kuo copper coin, which roughly translate to copper coin of the Great Qing Empire. The catalog does mention that there is some variations of this coin. This one is catalog number Y number 10.5, so there's at least 5 different variations. One of the variations has a dot that appears after the kuo but before the word copper right here, so there'd be a dot in the empty space right here. Another variation is, this is the 4-dot variation, so you see there are 4 dots separating. This one's kind of worn on this side, but there are 4 dots. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah, 4 dots on this side. There's another version of this coin that is made out of brass. And so different things to look for on these. Here's another coin from the Hungarian Regency period, but a little bit less value since the coin was made out of aluminum at this point. But Magyar means Hungary, if you've never seen that before. This one is a 1 pengo from 1941. Again, it has the Budapest mint mark here at the very bottom, BP dot. This coin is catalog number KM 521. Here's a coin from Uruguay featuring a horse from 1976. There is a Santiago mint mark on this one in the bottom corner. It looks like a large letter S with a tiny little O on top of it. It's a 10 centésimos coin. So in 1976, Uruguay had a new currency where 1,000 old peso were replaced by a 1 new peso starting in this year of 1976. This coin's catalog KM 66. Here's a coin that I already had, but I really like the condition of this one. So this is from Honduras, and it is 20 centavos of a lempira. Their currency is lempira, and it features chief lempira on their coins. This coin was dated 1967. They don't make coins every year, but this was the first year that it was not made out of silver. So the previous year was 1950, where it was 90%. And so at one time, the previous version of this coin actually did say 0.0900. I mean, 0.900 here at the very bottom, but it's now an empty space. And so this is one of those countries where I usually have to check the catalog for every coin I pick up from them just to look at the differences. There are some varieties over the decades, such as the what I would call the font or the typeface of the letters changed over time. And then in later years, in this circle in the middle, there's a temple in the middle, and they added some clouds in the background inside the circle, but behind that triangle in the middle. But it's not here in this one, it's just kind of a smooth background. So lots of subtle changes to look at over the years. This coin is catalog KM 79. Here's a coin from Pakistan, and if you didn't recognize it, it has the Tothra, which is the Ottoman symbol that appears on here with the 3 lines sticking up, a lot of curves on the left, as well as the crescent moon and star at the very top of the coin. So you can see this coin is dated 1969, and we flip it over. This coin is a 10 paisa. This coin has a size of 22 millimeters. It's the first year that they had this at a reduced size. Up until 1969, it was just 1 millimeter thicker, so they made kind of a subtle change on these coins. The coins I usually find from Sierra Leone are either going to be the 1 cent or the half cent, but here we have a 5-cent coin. Has their motto of unity, freedom, and justice written at the top, along with Sir Milton Margai on the obverse. And then we flip it over. It has the country name, Sierra Leone, the date of 1964, the denomination of 5 cents, and then in the middle, that tree is called a kapok tree. This coin is catalog KM18. It's the 1-year coin, and it's made out of copper nickel. Here is an area that is ruled by the Portuguese. It's going to be a 50 centavos. We flip it over to see who actually used it. We find that it's Mozambique, and for whatever reason, I think I mentioned this in the last video, but for whatever reason, Mozambique seems to be the area ruled by Portugal that I find the most often. This coin was made in 1957, and in this condition has a pretty good value. It's catalog KM81 and books for $3. It almost has some of its mint luster remaining on here, so this one's in pretty good shape. It's going to be an upgrade from my collection. Here we have from Poland, a 2 zloty coin. Catalog number on this one is KM283. Here's another coin that books for $3. They didn't make it for very long. Now, Poland had a new currency which began in 1995, but it's dated 1994. So they minted these for about the back half of 1994 and in 1995. So the 1994 is a little bit rarer, but they only minted them these 2 years. Here is a coin I love to find from the Philippines. It's a 50 centavos from 1964. I like it because it was the largest circulating coin of the particular time, when a lot of their coins featured the lady with the anvil on the left and the volcano in the background on the right. So this there was a time where the Philippines coins, when they were minted by the Americans, had silver in their coin, and this kind of has a silver look to it, but I always have to point out this is not silver. Pretty much all the circulating coins that had silver in it were from when the Americans were making their coins, but not when they were on their own. We flip it over and it says the Central Bank of the Philippines. And in my last video, I made a note on how the 1 peso of the late 70s and early 80s had 2 different variations based on what was written on the banner that went below the shield. So I think it's interesting that at this time, the banners in the English, it says Republic of the Philippines, and so they changed it to something in the native Tagalog language a little bit later. And so I've dealt with a lot of people from the Philippines. They all speak English from what I've been able to tell, so that's very common for them to want to use it. Of course, it wasn't that far removed that the Americans were kind of running the show there for a little bit, but so I just thought it was interesting. I wanted to point that out on the banner on here. So this was early on in the Philippines Republic, and its catalog number KM190. So this coin is new to my collection, and based on the Arabic we have right here, not something that I would be able to read on my own. But we flip it over and we find out that it is a 1 sen coin from Indonesia from 1952. So this was very early on after Indonesia had independence from the Netherlands. So an early coin of their republic. It's catalog number KM7. So even though it was no longer the Netherlands territory, it was still made at the Utrecht Mint in the Netherlands, and you see kind of a preview mark of a fish on the left, and there Caduceus, the 2 snakes around a pole with wings, over on the right. Catalog KM7. Before Indonesia was their own republic, they were known as the Netherlands East Indies. We're going to move on to this coin from Kenya, featuring the first president of Kenya, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. The nickel brass coin from 1978. It's a 5-cent coin. Catalog number KM10. Here we have a coin from the Republic of Ecuador, dated 1988. We've got their shield topped by an eagle on this side. We flip it over. It is a 50 sucres. It's one of those coins that has braille on it there at the bottom. And then the spiky looking thing on the side is actually supposed to be a mask of the solar deity of the La Tolida culture. This coin was dated 1988, and most of the coins made this year were withdrawn from circulation and melted down. And so there are about 100,000 of them that were thought to be released to the public. So most of them were taken out of circulation, so only 100,000 of them exist. Compare that to the other year. This was made in 1991, where they made 50 million of them. And so only 100,000 of these. You would think it would come with a premium because this is rarer. But no, it does not come with a premium. This coin only books for $1. Next we have a coin from Lebanon, the Bank of Lebanon. And Lebanon is known for their cedar tree, so we have a cedar tree on here. Features the Gregorian date of 1969, but also has the Gregorian date written in Arabic numerals, which looks pretty similar, but they draw their 6 to look like what we would call a 7. But that also says 1969 on their date. The value of this coin, it's written in both number system. It's a 50 piastres. So 100 piastres makes a lever. That's their currency. So this is a half of a lever. The coin is a catalog number KM28.1. It was made until about 1980, but the coins in 1980 are version 2 of the coin, where they redesigned the look of the number 50. This might surprise you, but this coin, this from Peru, which is a 10 centavos, is going to be the most valuable coin in this video because it's pretty rare. And there's a lot to unpack when we look at this side. The most noticeable thing, I think, is that the date is not written in numbers, but is spelled out in actual words. So, 1,000, which is 1,000, 900, which is 1900, 42, so 1942 is the date on this coin. Catalog number here is KM214A.3. The A means the coin is made out of brass because up until this year it was made, or up until a couple of years before this, it was made out of copper nickel. So it's 0.3 because it was made at the Lima mint mark. So version 0.1 of this coin was made with no mint mark and made in Philadelphia. 0.2 version of this coin was made in San Francisco. I believe it has an S mint mark. But this version of the coin doesn't have a mint mark, but what it does have is the way that it spells the 42. And look at the I right there in 42. So that's saying 42, but the versions that they made in Philadelphia and San Francisco would say 42. Actually had it spelled out. E is their word for and, so it's like their way of saying 1,940 and 2, where here they just say 42 on here. So that little change is what makes this coin from Lima, and this is the hardest one to find. So this coin in this condition books for $5. If you found it in uncirculated MS60, it would be $40. Then they changed the letters to numbers starting in 1945. But while we're talking about coins from Peru, let's look at the 20 centavos from about the same time period. $1,940. So this one is 1940. So this shows when it was made still out of copper nickel before they switched it to brass just a couple of years later. This coin is KM 215.2, and on this coin you tell just based on the year it was minted. So these were made in London in 1940 and 41, so that's what gives it the .2 on the catalog number, KM 215.2. And I believe they later went on to have a brass version of this one as well. And then again in 1945 they changed from the letters to the numbers. That coin isn't as valuable as the brass one that I just showed. And the brass one was valuable but just because of the rarity of it. We're going to move on to a couple of coins from Papua New Guinea. From 1984, most of the Papua New Guinea coins will have this bird of paradise written on it. The catalog calls it a paradise bird, but I'm used to hearing it called the bird of paradise. This one is a 2 Tawea featuring a lionfish. Now in the last video we also had a lionfish from Singapore, so that's the second time that it makes an appearance in this video. This coin is catalog KM2. This is a hard country to find, so I picked up a second one, even though this one is not in as good condition. But I also found the 1 Tawea, which is shinier except for a couple of spots on it, but this is a kind of a shinier look at the bird of paradise. This one is dated 1987 and is the 1 Tawea. So this one has what is called a wing butterfly, and this one is KM1 for the first coin that was minted for Papua New Guinea. In the 1980s, this is the design that you'd find on Nicaraguan coins. I had 2 of these 50 centavos, so I'm going to show them both at the same time. They're both dated 1987. En Dios confiamos, patria libre o morir. So this comes from a time when Nicaragua was ruled by the Sandinistas, and the Sandinista National Liberation Front. And so the Sandinistas were named after Antonio Sandino. And Sino had his trademark was the cowboy hat that he wore, so all of the Nicaraguan circulating coins of this era feature that cowboy hat. So the 50 centavos here is catalog KM58. This coin books for $1, but from the same era we have KM57, which is the 25 centavos, made of aluminum, but otherwise looks very similar. This one's KM57. We're going to go back to Peru, Republic Peruana, in a tiny coin made out of zinc. This one's dated 1961. Most zinc coins that I find usually come from Europe during the World Wars, but I guess Peru is just looking for a cheap metal during this time. This is an 1 centavo. This coin was made from 1950 to 1965. Catalog number KM227. And because they're sort of hard to find, this coin books for $1. We had some Hungarian coins earlier in this video, and so we've got an older coin here. This comes from the Reform coinage of 1892. This is a 10 filler, dated 1895. While the ruler was Franz Joseph I. This one is catalog KM 483. It has a KB mint mark on it, which means it was minted at Cormac, Spania. We'll finish with a couple of tokens, but our last coin of the video is an older coin from Nicaragua. Back when it was a republic. For most of the time, Nicaraguan coins Had a design with the 5 mountains with the Phrygian cap that's a radiant inside of a triangle. That's what we have here. We flip this one over and find out this specific coin was made in 1899. I believe this 5 centavos was a 1-year coin. Catalog KM9, and this coin books for $1.50. We're going to move to a Canadian trade token. This one highlights the Calgary Stampede, which was one of the most popular events to happen in Canada. It was a popular event, a 10-day rodeo. And so you don't really see this in America too often, but Canada, this is kind of a common thing where these dollar coins were sold as souvenirs, and in theory you could trade it in for $1 worth of value at certain businesses, although most of the time that did not actually happen. There are 4 versions of this coin based on 4 different privy marks on this coin. This one has a hat privy mark right here. The name right here is not the cowboy. I think that's just a generic cowboy, but that was the engraver of the coin or token. This side we have the Calgary Solar Salute. So they took the skyline of Calgary, kind of turned it into a circle, and then had the sun in the background of the tower there. So you see the sun rays coming out from it. So that is the Calgary Solar Salute. And then at the bottom here, it says the value in Calgary, $1 expires, and then a date of 1979. So they always put a 1-year cutoff on when you could actually redeem these, although most people did not. But they didn't want people to hoard them and then be able to spend them later, so they always had to do it that way. There were 175,000 of these minted, and in the years of 78 and 79, they were higher quality trade dollars because they were made at the Royal Canadian Mint in Winnipeg, whereas other years they used a cheaper mint to manufacture these. But the catalog of Canadian municipal trade tokens would be the Pelletier catalog, which gives this a catalog number of AB for Alberta Province, AB 124. So I had to pick up one more coin just to make it an even dollar, and so I picked up this religious coin, In God We Trust. So it has a U.S. flag with a cross behind it. You are not forgotten. I like the copper coin here that has kind of the antique finish to it. I thought that was really pretty. Alright, so that is 30 coins, part 2 of this video. We had a couple of decent value coins for a quarter bin. So the total book value of everything in this video was $27.10. Then you add that to the first video, which had a value of $24.50, and we end up with a value of $52.10. So very happy with what I paid $15 for on these. Always like just getting the running total just to see what things are worth. All right, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.